Okay, we are live once again. Thank you, everybody, for being here. As always, please take a moment, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. The earlier stream, I talked about Freemasonry in a diversity of languages, or communicating with diversity of languages in honor of International Mother Tongue Day. I talked about uh, I talked about Puerto Vallarta and Mexico in general, what's happening, how incredibly sad it is, and how I'm praying that everybody is okay. And my experiences in Puerto Vallarta, as well as, I guess, some of the information coming out and some of the tips for people presently there, including Canadians there. And I talked about National Day in Canada of Human Trafficking Awareness. Because we as Freemasons should care about how we can help support our communities and keep them safe. However, I did also want to take a moment to say happy birthday, President and Brother George Washington, who, evening MD, evening MD, how's it going? Thanks. I feel like it's been a little while since I've seen you. I hope you're doing well. Um, who was born on February 22nd, 1732. So happy birthday, President and Brother George Washington. In fact, George Washington won our recent poll we did regarding favorite Masonic presidents. We did that in honor of President's Day. Today is also International Freemason Day, which was established in 1995 by the Grand Orient of Brazil following recommendation from North American Grand Masters. It deliberately coincides with the birthday of George Washington, born February 22nd, 1732. Washington wasn't just a statesman and military leader, he was a working Mason, excuse me, who embodied principles of duty, restraint, leadership, and service to something greater than self. His legacy reminds us that Freemasonry is not about the titles or secrets, but about conduct. International Freemason Day isn't a celebration of prestige, it is a reminder of responsibility to govern ourselves before governing others, to serve our communities quietly and consistently, to live the values we were taught on the job, at home, and in public. From lodge rooms to work sites, from past to present, the work continues. So, MD, how's it going? Thank you for being here. Well, I might be journeyman, but you should still hit the like and subscribe button. And let's give it some time to see who joins. No worries, Logical Penguin. Thank you for being here. This is going to be a shorter stream. Hello, Dixon. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. By the way, if you guys want to help me out, you consider doing a super chat, just 99 cents. Thank you, Dog. Vladimir, I am not ex-military. I don't know if you're asking me that because I'm missing my legs, but I was born missing my legs. So never served in the military. Or maybe I just look like a soldier, which I would take as a pretty big compliment personally. Um, so thank you for that. Vladimir, please hit like and subscribe if you've not done so. And I hope you are doing well. I'll take it, Vladimir. Most people say I look ugly on this stream, so I'll take it. I appreciate it. Oops. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how your day is going. Again, happy birthday, George Washington, and happy International Freemason Day as well. For the time being, we're just going to wait to see who joins. I did want to get on here and reference that. Earlier today, I referenced International or National Day of Awareness for Human Trafficking, International Mother Language Day, and National Day Against Human Trafficking. And what's happening in Puerto Vallarta and how scary I find it, to be honest, because I know a lot of brothers and a lot of friends in Puerto Vallarta. I haven't been able to get in touch with any of them yet. They're obviously very busy, but I do hope that they're doing okay, and my thoughts are with them. So let's give it some time and let's see who joins. Any thoughts on Freemasonry or anything you guys want to talk about, positive, negative, or neutral? Please let me know. Well, I got a big nose, Emery, but do you want to hit the like and subscribe button? I would appreciate that very much. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. I am not a Shriner. I'd love to be a Shriner, maybe one day. I've just been so swamped with work and everything. I haven't really had time to be a Shrine or anything else. But I have great respect for the Shrine. Well, I'm not sure what you mean by that grind 111, in that, I mean, I think what you mean is, like, are we emulation or York or Preston Webb? We are emulation ritual. As you may know, there is no single set Masonic ritual. Rather, it depends on which jurisdiction you're in and depends on jurisdiction, which area you're in. In the States, they tend to follow what's called Preston Webb ritual. In Canada, very often it's emulation. What I will say, and what I've said before, and I always repeat it because of conspiracy theories out there, I've never seen anything within any Masonic ritual, ceremonies, or degrees that would be illegal, immoral, or against one's civic, religious, or moral responsibilities. Hello, Shadow Titan. Shrine references a Masonic group or Masonic body. They are primarily focused on community service, I would say, and fellowship. They have a lot of dinners. They support children's hospitals. They are a wonderful part of the Masonic family. I do not know what a blood oath is. No, we do not take a blood oath. That would be unhygienic and unsafe. If when you say blood oath, you mean like cutting your hands and shaking or anything or sharing blood. And I would not be part of any organization that would require a blood oath like that. So no, we do not. And Freemasons are not involved in selling drugs. I'm sure some Freemasons have in the past, but that would have been their own thing. And if caught, they should have gone to jail. And if I, as a Freemason, were to discover another Freemason selling drugs, I would contact the police immediately. So there you go. Yes, we're Canadian, so we take a maple syrup oath. David the Plumber, please hit like and subscribe. And hello, Joyless Vessel. You know what will give you joy? Hitting the like and subscribe button. I can't tell if you're saying that because I have a big nose, D3L, but no, I do not. Please hit like and subscribe. Hello, A indeed. Hello, Pat. I'm going to call you 1993. I can't tell if that's Patcha. I hope you're doing well. If you have any thoughts on Freemasonry, please let me know. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Do you mean to Puerto Vallarta or my most recent trip that I took to Chicago? Because I always try my best when I'm traveling to take in both Masonic and non-Masonic sites, businesses, events. I mean, pick your term. But even when I'm doing that, I'm trying to do so in a Masonic way, meaning if I'm traveling to a new town, a new community, a new city, or even somewhere I've been before, I think it's really important that I try to support the local economy as a Freemason. I try to demonstrate that I care about the local economy by checking out sites, not just tourist sites, but local businesses. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll make sure to buy some gifts to bring back with me or to bring with me to a lodge I'm visiting. And I'll always try to remind or somehow make note that I am a Freemason, just because I think it's incredibly important that we as Freemasons support the communities in which we are visiting and traveling. Well, thank you, D3L. Please hit like and subscribe. I don't know why my voice sounds gay. Whether I'm gay or straight does not make a difference to being a Freemason. So there you go. I am not. That's a hurtful thing to say. That might get you banned, Patcha. I am from Manitoba, so one province over. Boo earns to Saskatchewan. Bunch of banjo picking, cousin marrying, no teeth having inbreds over there. So Freemasons are not cultists. Freemasonry is not a cult, nor is it cultish. It is a separate thing. Um, Alberta. Oh, so we're on either side of Saskatchewan. Somebody once told me that the one reason Saskatchewan exists is because Albertan cowboys and Manitoba loose women got together for a little bit of fun in Saskatoon and it completely populated the province. So I could use the WH word, but I would never do that about my Manitoba women. But yeah, Saskatchewan is populated entirely from the descendants of Albertan cowboys and Manitoba maidens having a good time. It is not cultish, nor is it pretty cultish, grind. So there you go. You are incorrect. Actually, I'm not going to lie. I actually heard that, not about Saskatchewan. I adopted it to Saskatchewan, but I heard that about Texas. Someone once told me that Texas is populated entirely from the descendants of Oklahoma cowboys and Mexican ladies of the night. And it always stuck with me. But I figured Saskatchewan works just as well for Alberta, Manitoba. You are not correct, Grind. Freemasons are, I mean, secrecy is a part of being a Freemason, I suppose. Though I don't like that term. I prefer the term privacy, maintaining the privacy of rituals, because that is how you maintain the bonds of brotherhood, right? So whether it's talking about Saskatchewan or Texas, my apologies. I mean, obviously, I love Texas. Saskatchewan, since I'm from Manitoba, I hate it. But nonetheless, I'm sure there are some good people in Saskatchewan. I'm sure there are a couple. And, the problem with Saskatchewan is 98% of the people give the other 2% a bad name, is how it goes. Well, all Masons love green beans, Rusty Dog the Ghost. I've never heard of any Canadian Masons who love fish sticks, but I love fish sticks, in fairness. I think they're good. There's not what. By the way, please hit like and subscribe. Once again, I came on here for a couple of reasons to celebrate International Freemason Day, which is February 22nd under the Grand Orient of Brazil, and also to wish a happy birthday to our brother, the first president of the United States, George Washington. That's right. So none of those things are traits of a cult. Those are traits of organizations and groups, which could be cults or not. What separates a cult from other groups is a desire or a plan to separate members from the community, which it does not. Freemasonry will never try to separate an individual from his or her, but his family, his employment, his religion, or his community at large. It does not try to isolate anybody. Freemasonry also does not require unquestioning loyalty to either a leader or a dogma. Rather, Freemasonry is democratic and encourages, voting on decisions. A cult, you have a leader, you have a set of rules, and those cannot be questioned. Freemasonry does not require unquestioning loyalty or unquestioned dogma. And also, Freemasonry does not venerate individuals or dogmas above anyone else. Again, it is democratic and about equality. So there you go. I cannot say how many there are in Canada Loose Square. I mean, this is a rough guesstimate. I believe there's about 28,000 in Ontario. I believe there's about 50,000 in Canada, approximately. Well, I don't think AA is a cult either. I definitely don't call AA a cult. But if you call AA a cult, then by that definition, you believe in a lot of cults. I would suggest you may want to reconsider your definition. Because if AA is a cult, NA is a cult, Gamblers Anonymous is a cult, religions are cults, Freemason, Elks, Moose, condo associations, they would all be cults as well. And that strikes me as pretty crazy. Yes, Windsor, Ontario. Neither. I mean, you don't become gay, first of all. You either are gay or you're not. So Freemasonry has no effect on that one way or the other. You either are or you're not. Uh, Probably, I would assume about 10% of the Masonic population is gay, in the same way about 10% of the general population or public is gay, right? But Freemasonry has nothing to do with sexual orientation. Well, you don't have to like Freemasons, Grind. There's no law that says you have to like them. I hope you'll at least appreciate that I like them, and I believe they make the world a better place. Well, you have the verbiage of a foolish person, Lou Square. Um, well, I mean, Freemasonry ultimately, in my experience, whatever the demographics of a community is reflected within a Masonic lodge, right? So if you, for example, know Detroit is the gateway to Windsor, and Detroit is a gateway to Canada. If you live in a community where, let's say, it's 60% Christian, 30% Muslim, 10% Jewish, then your lodge religiously will be 60, 30, 10. And by the same token, if you live in a community where 5% of the population is gay, then within Freemasonry, within that lodge, 5% will be gay. I mean, it's whatever in my experience, it tends to reflect whatever the community is at large. Well, anyone who joins any club, the ant, please hit like and subscribe. And by the way, leave the ants alone. They have a right to exist without being attacked just as much as anybody else. Donkey Balls, I hope you'll agree with hitting the like and subscribe button. Bojack, I got it. I mean, look, I love Detroit. I've actually written about Detroit and how much I love Detroit on Medium and Michigan in general. I think Detroit is an incredible city. I think Michigan is an incredible state. I think America is an incredible country. Having said all of that, Windsor is my home. I think it's an incredible city as well. And I think it 100% can compete with Detroit in terms of how awesome it is. The services it provides, the sense of community, the amenities. Yes, Detroit's bigger, so maybe there's more to do in Detroit, but quantity doesn't always translate into quality. And Windsor has a lot of absolutely incredible services, events. It's just a great place. Um, Sluggy, well, I don't think you have to be gay to be a bishop, first of all. But second, Freemasonry is not about sexual orientation, Sluggy, so you're incorrect. I love Detroit. Detroit's awesome. Like I said, it's just I love Windsor more because it's my city. I've always believed that Freemasons should, more than anything else, be cheerleaders for where they live. They should celebrate and support whatever city in their lodge is located in, because you cannot separate the success of a Masonic lodge from the success of the city in which it's located. So if you are a Mason in Detroit, you should want Detroit to succeed, because Detroit's success will be the success of the lodge itself. Well, Caesar, we do not serve dark forces, either, with awareness or without awareness. Freemasonry, to the extent it serves anything, I suppose you could say it serves the community. I might say what it actually serves more so than anything else is the human desire to belong to something, which is something that's been around for centuries, for millennia. It's in our nature. I'm sure there's been murders in Windsor. I can't think of any recently. I mean, I don't know what you're saying, Shadow Titan. Some people know me, some people don't. Being a Freemason is not going to get you more, quote unquote, well known within a community. That's not how it works. Anybody who promises you that by joining Freemasonry you will get more success of any sort or more well known is full of baloney. That is a lot. I would suggest some of those are probably clandestine, to be honest, but it's just, I suppose it also depends how big your lodge, or sorry, how big your city actually is. Certainly, the more of a population you have in a city, the more lodges there will be. Well, Caesar, I don't believe in an antichrist per se. I'm not Christian. I think the antichrist is primarily a Christian understanding or a Christian theology, but I mean, what I would say is Freemasonry will never and should never discriminate against anyone based on religion. To my knowledge, the Antichrist, he will discriminate against religions, he'll discriminate against Christianity. Therefore, the Antichrist should not, by definition, be a Freemason. Um, Marshall, please hit like and subscribe. I went to Murdoch McKay High School in Winnipeg. Um, Angel, please hit like and subscribe. I mean, you say you got a Masonic ring. I don't know if you are a Mason. I always suggest if you're not a Mason and you have a ring, you should return it to the local lodge. But having said that, if you own it, you own it, and it's yours to do with as you please. Yes, I got a big nose. Please hit like and subscribe. It'd be much appreciated. Um, I don't know what gray means. I've never heard the term gray as it relates to Freemasonry. Okay, I got a huge nose. Please hit like and subscribe. I may have a huge nose, but I'm still very handsome. Before you do that, at 2_tacos, hit that like and subscribe button. I'm almost at 3,600 subs. I'm 5 away. So help a brother out. Well, I still don't know what gray means. I've never heard that expression. I feel I'm not gray enough to know. Well, there you go. By the way, once again, I started this special stream just to celebrate International Freemason Day and to wish happy birthday to our brother, the first president of the United States, George Washington, who was himself a Freemason, a very active Freemason as well. Oh, well, I mean, join and make the lodge younger. I would say some lodges trend older, some are getting a lot of younger members. It depends on how active the lodge is. So, yeah. But don't wait until you're older. I would suggest if you're interested in joining, there's a minimum age, which is you have to be at least 18 or 21, but there's no maximum. So if you want to wait till you're older, then that's perfectly fine. I was born missing my legs, Texas. So I was born missing my legs. 936. Are you from Chicago? Based on your name, I love Chicago, by the way. I think it's the greatest city in the world. Now, I know I said you should cheerlead your own city. I love Windsor. You should all move here. It's an absolutely incredible city. But in terms of like my favorite cities to visit, cities I love the most, Chicago is at the top of the list. Bill, I am not Ice Gardens. I am not Epstein. Not just shoes. The top Freemasons do not serve Satan. Nobody within Freemasonry serves Satan. You don't understand what you're talking about. How's it going, Hassan? And Epstein is not a Freemason, Ice Gardens. Well, I guess was because he's dead, but Epstein neither is or was a Freemason. That is a conspiracy theory spread online, much to my annoyance. Yeah, you get a lot of tough crowds, bub. Because Ramadan? How is that going for you, Hassan? Actually, I was going to say right now the sun is definitely set, but where are you located? Thank you, and I appreciate that. I wish you good health as well. I appreciate you being here. I hope, like I said, you're doing well, and I hope you're having a great International Freemason Day, as well as I hope you're having an excellent day celebrating George Washington's birthday. The elites of Freemasonry is not evil, Ice Gardens. There is no elite within Freemasonry. L. Ron Hubbard was not a Freemason, David the Plumber. Young soul. Well, I am not Christian. I mean, I believe certainly in the historical figure of Jesus. I think certainly historically Jesus existed. The supernatural elements. Again, I'm not a Christian myself. You don't have to be a Christian to be a Freemason. You can be any number of different beliefs. We have many different beliefs represented within Freemasonry. Okay, so Komatsu. So Hassan, what are you fasting right now, or is it Are you able to eat and drink at the moment? I'm assuming when you say fasting, it's for religious purposes, though for all I know, it could be for medical purposes or any other number of reasons. So, still great to have you here. Young Soul, please hit like and subscribe. I'm 4 subs away from 3,600 subscribers. I do not know what any of those words mean. I do not know what a Supreme Counselor of the High Council is. I do not know why Obama would be up for that position one way or the other. I thought Obama was an okay president, so I don't know. Sure. All right, Ice Gardens, cut that out. None of that nonsense. Michelle Obama's a woman. Well, 8795, please hit like and subscribe. Welcome back, Sebastian Bruce. I am Spirit. Welcome, Spirit. Can you hit like and subscribe? And let me know if you have any thoughts on Freemasonry. Positive, negative, or neutral. I'd love to hear them. Yeah, but it's different. It's different. Obviously daytime is different depending on where you're at, right? It's sun up, sun down, to my knowledge, which will change depending on your time zone. Hello, Rondo. Thank you for being here. It's going well, Sebastian. How is your day going? And Anthony Reed, I was just in Colombia a few months ago in Bogota. I'd like to get to Medellin. I loved Bogota. It was beautiful, incredible people. It was a blast. No Ram car. The Rothschilds are not a Masonic family. There's no such thing as a Masonic family. There can be Masons within a family. One Rothschild was a Freemason. To my knowledge, that's it. Any books I recommend? I always recommend Freemason for Dummies by Chris Hodap at the start. There's also a ton of really great news articles and newsletters you can get for free about Freemasonry through reputable sources. I actually share links to those on my Medium page. Shark, hello, good to see you. I am a Freemason, Car 1350. I've been a Freemason for just about 20 years. I started this channel to promote the ways Freemasonry was and is relevant to the communities in which it's located. And then to talk about stories of Masonic interest. When you say Southeast Georgia, do you mean the country of Georgia, in the former Soviet Union, or the state of Georgia? Anthony Reed. Okay. Welcome, American Anthony Reed. To everybody watching this, if you've not done so yet, please hit the like and subscribe button. I'm 4 subs away from 3,600. Any fiction? Oh, just books in general that I love. Shark talking about Freemasonry. We're really just taking questions at this point. The Long Walk, A Simple Plan, Colorado Kid, Don Quixote. Got Don Quixote there on my arm. The Shining. Right now I'm reading Jack Reacher's Into Deep, which is pretty good. I think I'm going to give you an underrated book, A Simple Plan by Scott Smith. I just revisited it. It's a really great book, and it's really underrated and really underappreciated. I'm not sure what To Bell means. Freemasonry does have rituals, or ceremonies, if you prefer. It's a way to create bonds of brotherhood through shared experience. I can talk about Catholics and Muslims. We have many Catholic Freemasons and many Muslim Freemasons. I have no handlers, based hacker. Nobody would want to try to handle me. I'd be a pain in the ass. I would assume you did, Anthony Reed, in Georgia. Yeah, Freemasonry is, it's dropping in numbers across North America, but there are still several lodges in Georgia. This state, I am an optimistic nihilist. So what does it mean to be an optimistic nihilist? Well, I can talk about whatever I want, but there are things I choose not to talk about. Epstein is not a Freemason. That's just the truth. Ice Gardens. And if you think he is, you are wrong. And you might be wrong because you're foolish or because you've been given false information. So I think Masonry can without a doubt help with mental health and as well as physical health. There's all sorts of evidence. In fact, the Surgeon General wrote a report 2 years ago, 3 years ago, discussing the negative health effects of loneliness and isolation. Freemasonry provides a social support system um, for people, which has been shown to increase both physical and mental health. I'll give you one example. My dad is getting older. As you know, as I get older, so does he. And he was concerned because he's seen, you know, people get his age and get dementia, and he felt like he was forgetting things. So his doctor told him, look, just make sure that you are keeping yourself socially active, hanging out with friends. And if you start to develop dementia, your friends will tell you and they'll be able to help you recognize it, and then you can take the next steps. Luckily, my dad is also a Freemason, which means not only does he have his friends, he has his Masonic brothers. And he sees them regularly, he chats with them, talks to them. It's just a way of keeping his health monitored by the people who care about him. That's a great example of Freemasonry helping mental health. The idea of Freemasonry rituals helping with mental illness, if you have a mental illness, you have a mental illness, and the most important thing that you can do and should do is speak to a doctor, speak to a medical professional. In that, Freemasonry in general can help with your health. I think it can help with mental illnesses. So, for example, if you have cancer, a Masonic ritual is not going to cure your cancer. And if you think it is, you're crazy. Go to a doctor. However, a Masonic ritual can give you a sense of peace, of support, something to look forward to, something to be involved in, that can help your overall mental health by giving your mind something else to focus on, by reducing your blood pressure, by letting you hang out with friends, etc., etc. So all of that stuff matters big time. And so, yeah, it's not about healing an illness, because Freemasonry is not going to heal you, but it will improve general health, and maybe in that way help you just feel better in general and help you feel better in life. So Ramiel Carr, I can talk about whatever I want to. There are things I choose not to talk about. For example, I choose not to talk about specifics of the ritual because within Masonic ritual, it's about creating bonds through shared experience and shared knowledge. If I start to share ritual, then that's impacting the shared nature of those bonds. No different than, for example, a family recipe. I can share my grandmother's recipe for cookies. I choose not to because I want to maintain the bonds between the past, present, and future generations of the family. Do we got any more comments? I feel like we're missing some here. How often am I at the lodge? Based hacker, very, very often. Now, you can be at the lodge once a month, once a year, once every 10 years, or like I am, 3, 4, 5 times a week. Who is the master? I think you're referring to Hiram Abiff, but that's a Masonic myth. I mean, there is no single master, right, within Freemasonry. It's decentralized. So if I don't know what that means, Shadow Titan, Freemasonry does not encourage alcoholism. Yes, Shark, Freemasonry rituals are like a social gathering. Freemasonry absolutely does not encourage alcoholism. I would say Freemasonry reminds people of the importance of drinking responsibly as well as doing anything responsibly within your life. You need to be responsible. So the leaders are not satanic, neither am I. But whether you say I am or not, the leaders are not satanic. Freemasonry is not a religion. It does not have a Satan to which would be satanic for or about. Independent puppy, I mean, obviously it can be very challenging to find people to trust, especially if people have, you know, abused your trust in the past. And I'm not telling you to trust me or not to trust me. I guess what I'm saying is you have to make up your own mind about Freemasonry. I can simply give you my experiences, my opinions, and my observations based on being a Freemason for 20 years, approximately, and traveling all around the world. The Master Builder is not Satan. The Freemasonry has no... Again, Freemasonry is not a religion. So if you believe in Satan, you might be a Christian. I think Muslims and Jewish people also believe in Satan. I'm not a religious expert. So some Masons may believe in Satan and some may not. I'm going to take that as a compliment, Mango. Please hit like and subscribe. DJ, honestly, some lodges have held video game tournaments in the past. Zolly, someone asked you to like and subscribe. Independent puppy, I mean, I think, I don't know what that means to be one's own master. I mean, within Freemasonry, we don't have masters in the sense of people who exercise control over us. We have masters in the sense of well-skilled individuals who are basically the equivalent to a CEO. They kind of govern a lodge for a time period, but they're democratically elected. They're closer to subscribers. Yes, because I'm 4 away from 3,600. I think it'd be cool to get there on this stream. I don't think I'll make it, but maybe. It'd be fun. Any watch that they want, NDR. I have seen watches with squared compasses on them or in them, but not all the time. Some lodges will get it, though. Yeah, well, the majority of Freemasons I've met are Christians. So yes, you can be. I mean, I have no idea. Again, I'm not a religious expert. I understood Jewish people believed in Satan, but again, I'm not one who can say for sure because I'm not a theological religious expert. That's for sure. I'd like to know more about religious beliefs because to be in a Masonic lodge, I will be sitting with brothers of all different beliefs. I'd like to be a little bit better at, at least be conversant and respectful of their beliefs. So, well, don't be planning hostile takeovers and Drangheta X. How about we have no Masonic hostile takeovers? How about we just have no hostile takeovers at all, period? I think that might be a little bit better. And let's not go attacking anything either, because if you're attacking lodges, you might be attacking me, and I don't want to get attacked. I'm very lazy, and I'm a wuss. I don't want to be running away from some crazy attacker. So Masonic lodges are not Christian. Samuel Westall, Masonic lodges are not religious of any sort. They are civic organizations. They occupy a completely different space than quote-unquote Christian or Christianity. I don't know if that's true or not. I feel like you're being sarcastic, ashes in your mouth. But what can I say? I try my best. So Freemasonry does connect to Solomon's Temple. It is one of the symbols that we use because it's one of them that would have been well known to the Freemasons in the Middle Ages. And a great example of stonemasonry, right? Okay, I don't know where you're a Mason, Samuel. I'm a Mason in Ontario. I'm a member of 3 lodges, plus a member of a lodge in Israel and Texas, so 5 lodges altogether. Border Cities 554, Windsor 403, Harmony 579. Then I'm also a member of Lodge Holy Land number 50 and Tranquility Lodge number 2000. And Masons are not the devil. We are not devils, nor do we belong to the devil. You use an apostrophe in there, so that's my assumption. Nice. Dorset, England Lodge. Very cool. Yes, Tranquility Lodge is Texas / the moon. I was actually at UGLE not that long ago. I mean, certainly Freemasonry borrows a great deal from Christian theology. It also borrows from Muslim theology, Jewish theology, architectural orders, Egyptian mysticism, and primarily stone masonry and stone Masonic guilds. I mean, ND, I don't think that's very possible. I don't know. I can't confirm because I don't know Rainey's heritage, but the cedars for the Temple of Solomon came from Lebanon. So if Rainey Girl is Lebanese, then yeah, it's very possible that her great, I think the temple was like 950 BC. Great grandparents provided the cedars. There's no way to know for sure. There's no family trees that go that far back that are undisputed. And there's no way to know for sure that King Solomon's Temple even actually existed. The archaeological evidence is fairly uncertain, put it that way. However, it's possible. Albert Pike was a Freemason. I went to Windsor, Ontario. Murdoch. Go Murdoch. Albert Pike, though, was a Freemason. However, he did not speak for Freemasonry. He spoke for himself and his own exclusive Masonic views. That's not the same thing as saying he speaks for every Freemason. I did ages ago. I kind of have to reread it because people keep bringing it up in this stream and it's a pain in the butt. Well, if I annoy you and you still keep showing up, then you must be a true fan. I'll say that. Yes, they did. They originated from medieval stonemason guilds in Great Britain. The earliest speculative masons were probably from Scotland, dated to 1634. Three brothers, if I recall correctly, the Mackenzie brothers. And then the first Grand Lodge was obviously the premier Grand Lodge of England in 1724, June 24, 1724, at the Goose and Gridiron. So that's why I always say, if you're looking for the most direct and most influential group organization for Freemasonry, it is stone Masonic guilds and stonemasonry. But then as the rituals were being developed and ceremonies were being developed, especially, and including the third degree, you had the addition of Egyptian mysticism, Christian theology, Islam, if you count, for example, the shrine, Chinese mythology. Interestingly enough, people don't realize that kind of made its way in there. Some parallels with Gnosticism, some parallels with, like architectural orders, Enlightenment era philosophy, Stoicism made its way in there. There's a lot of Stoic influence in Masonic ritual, like the, different cardinal virtues, things like that. So the point is, the group itself evolved from stonemason guilds. The ritual that has been developing for hundreds of years, it borrowed influences from a variety of sources and a variety of different areas and kind of adopted it into, in some cases, emulation ritual, in some cases, Preston Webb, the appendant bodies. Again, there's significant Islamic influence in, for example, the shrine with the fez coming from Morocco, right? But again, I always say, if you want to know where, yes, St. John's Day, that's why the patron saint of Freemasonry is St. John the Baptist, because of June 24th, 1717. Or was St. John, which St. John was it? There's two St. Johns. There's St. John the Baptist and St. John the Evangelist, right? St. John the Baptist, let me just double check which one is which. They're both. So St. John the Baptist and St. John the Evangelist are both revered as patron saints of Freemasonry. So there you go. I've no doubt you do, Samuel Westall. I'm sure you know a ton of your history, and good on you for that. A lot of Freemasons don't. I bet you there's a bunch of stuff that you know about Masonic history that I do not know as well. I'd like to think of myself as being conversant in Masonic history, but that doesn't mean I'm an expert on it. I know the basics of, for example, the ancients and the moderns, and kind of the development of the York Rite and the Scottish Rite, and the development of the third degree, which came later. I'm not nearly as conversant on stone Masonic history or stonemasons, but I know a little bit of that stuff. Yeah. Well, that's where the cedars came from, right, Rainy Girl? I mean, if I recall it correctly, because, in the Bible, again, I'm not a theological expert, there's Hiram Abiff, there's Hiram, king of Tyre, which was in Lebanon, and Solomon. And if I recall correctly, the Bible talks about the cedars coming from a certain valley in Lebanon. Samuel Westall, you just repeated your name. All right, do you have a YouTube channel about Masonic history? Or do you talk about it on social media? Do you follow me on social media? Where can I find you? Because it sounds like you know a fair bit. You can ask about him. I mean, what's your question? My suspicion is he's probably a mythological figure. as opposed to a quote unquote historical figure. He's an important figure within Freemasonry. How and why? For that, you got to join. But my suspicion is he's probably more apocryphal than real. At least that's my assumption. But if you want to know why he's important to Freemasonry, in that case, you got to join and you'll find out. Sorry, Sam, I'm not sure if you had something else to say or if you pinned your name because you want me to check your stuff out. Jeremy, thank you for being here. Please hit like and subscribe. We are, I'm still 4 subs away from 3,600 subscribers. So help a brother out. Well, York Rite can mean a couple of different things, neither of which I am. Sometimes people refer to York in terms of actual the ritual that we would call Preston Webb ritual. I am emulation ritual. I'm not York Rite. I've joined the Scottish Rite. There is no Masonic God, Dylan, or Dinah Bolt standard. There is no Masonic God, neither higher or anything else. Freemasonry is not a religion. Right? Freemasonry has men of many different faiths and beliefs, but we are not religion. So there is no quote-unquote Masonic God, nor for that matter is there a Masonic devil, just for the record. It's just a figure within Freemasonry, an important figure within Freemasonry. If you're going to find out more about why, join a Masonic lodge. It's a metaphor, right? When you hear about square conduct, that means moral conduct. Ice Garden, if I had to pick one, it's its own community. It's its own thing. It's within the civic space, right? It's within the civic space, community space, but it's not like anything else. It's just its own thing. So there you go. Again, it's just an important figure within Freemasonry. However, whether it actually existed or not, I do not know. My suspicion is probably more of a legendary or apocryphal figure than otherwise. Well, Scottish Rite started in France. At least most people say that with Andrew Raymond or Chevalier Andrew Raymond. But it was started by somebody in France who was from Scotland, hence it got the name Scottish Rite. We're going to give this stream another 12 minutes, and then we will be ending this one. So thank you guys all for being here. I hope you're all having an excellent day. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. No names are boring. It's not offensive. It's just strange. Names are not boring. Names are, whatever names they are what their names are. I never call anybody's name quote unquote boring, if that makes any sense. Well, thank you, Anthony Reed. If you want to call him Roger, you do you. Dinah Bolts, you call him Roger. I would find that strange, but hey, what do I know? We're going to end this stream in, let's say, a few minutes. As always, please take the moment to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. I hope you're having a great, great day. A great night. Happy birthday, George Washington. And happy International Masonic Day as well. Which was started by the Grand Orient of Brazil. I try to be. I don't know if I always succeed or not, but I think I probably fail as often as I succeed in being a good man. But I do try my best for whatever it's worth. I am Canadian. I am Canadian, born and raised. Yeah, I think it's I've said it before, greatest country in the world. Do I have like a Canadian accent? There's a moose in the hoose. I never met Justin Trudeau. I met Stephen Harper, the prime minister before Justin Trudeau. I actually worked for Stephen Harper. Yes, living in Canada with British roots in honor of my father. A boot indeed. By the way, if you guys get the chance before I end this stream, please consider doing a 99-cent super chat. I'd very much appreciate it. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it helps out big time, right? The more engagement, as well as leaving a comment on videos, sharing, all that stuff helps out big time. I mean, I don't think you need to fix anything. Whoever is in your country, can be in your country. Well, you fix whatever you want to fix, I suppose, but I would say I don't think that needs fixing. I think, it's not any people can be good or not so good. It's when it comes to a country, I don't think you should focus on the ethnicity of the people in the country, that's for sure. What's wrong with speaking Spanish and English? I think the more languages we have in a country, the better. The better to demonstrate the diversity of the peoples within, which demonstrates more people want to be there, right? All right, guys, I'm going to be jumping off the stream. Thank you, everybody, though, who's been here. Happy birthday to George Washington. Happy International Freemason Day 2026. Well, thank you, Brad. I'll take that. I will be back on tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern for the next day of push-up challenge. And yeah, push for better. And I'll see you all soon. All right. Peace and love to you guys as well.